What's up? I'm Sam Levitt, and in this video, we're going to talk about Procreate Basics Part 4. We're going to talk about drawing guides, and we're going to talk about the cursor. I'm fully aware that I spelled cursor wrong, not once, but twice in this video. So stay tuned to see where I spell it wrong the second time. So we're going to jump right into the drawing guides. The drawing guide is underneath the Actions tab under Canvas. So Actions, Canvas, select Drawing Guide on, and then Edit Drawing Guide. The first one is just a 2D grid. You can change the opacity, the thickness, the color of the lines, even the grid size, so you can make the squares smaller or bigger. As an option, you can make it all the way small if you want it to just be straight up dark. So this is helpful if you want to write on the lines, if you want to just have an extra guide along the way. I recognize that the lines were hard to see on that one, so I redid that. We've got writing on the lines. I was just trying to show that that's how a lot of people use it. If you have a hard time like writing slanted, this is a good guide for you, so you don't have to worry about drawing other lines for yourself. The next one is isometric, which is these tiny little triangles and straight lines up and down. This one, I'll show you in a second using how you can use it for the assisted drawing, but for this, it's if you were also using it for straight up and down lines or slanted lines for some reason. The next one is a perspective. So this one, you have to interact with it a little bit, and you put this perspective lines on the paper. You choose the point with which the lines are going to come from. My husband had to mess with the lights for a second, so that's why we had a glare coming on. I told him, no, you can't have the lights on since it makes it have a super bad glare. So anyways, back to that. This can also be helpful with the drawing guide. I'll show you here. I write out the word create super quickly, and then I show you that you can use it if you wanted like your text to have a shadow behind it. You could use this as a guide if you wanted like your drop shadow to be going in those directions. So that's the option for that one. I'll also show you in a second how to use the drawing guide for that one. So this is the symmetry option, and the drawing guide turns on automatically when you turn on symmetry because it could just be a line for you, but it's also it's going to flip off of that axis, so it will mirror whatever you draw. This is the vertical symmetry option. There is a horizontal symmetry, a quadrant, and a radial. So quadrant is like that and radial is like that. If I don't turn on rotational symmetry with the radial option, this is what it will look like. So we've got that. And then when we turn on rotational symmetry, you'll see that it mirrors it in an entirely different way. So hopefully that's helpful. I like rotational symmetry better, but it depends on what look you're going for specifically with using this feature. So I'm also going to show you the drawing guides for the other few drawing guides. So I'm showing that the assisted is on. And since it's on, we're going to go ahead and just go to the 2D grid. Assisted drawing, that's the option down there on the bottom right to select it on. So when the drawing guide assisted drawing is on, it will only let you draw in the directions that the drawing guide is going. So if we were to do isometric, we can only do slanted, up and down, and like the slanted in the two directions, no matter what I do. So that could be helpful with text, or if you're trying to keep things super straight. This one, it lets you go straight, but it also will let you go slanted. The lines are really faint in this video, so I apologize for that. But you've got that perspective, so if you wanted to keep things super straight, it would allow you to do that. I'm trying to think of something you would use this for other than text, but I haven't used it a whole lot, to be completely honest. And then we've got the symmetry option, which I already showed you. And here's what the quadrant one looks like. And then I believe I show you what the vertical one or the horizontal one looks like as well. So we've got all of those bases covered. I hope that this helps you feel more confident with using the drawing guides for whatever you're creating. Ask your questions if you have any additional ones below. Next, we're going to go on to the cursor tool. So I spelled cursor wrong again. This is the second time. I swear this is the only other time I spell it wrong. I know it's C-U-R-S-O-R. I should have looked it up beforehand. So the cursor tool allows you to move stuff. So that was the uniform one. Pretty cut forward, or cut cut and dry and straightforward. It makes it so things move the same way. You want it on bicubic, so it gets less pixelated when you move things to bigger. Because Procreate is a pixel-based platform, you will get some pixelation when you move stuff, but bicubic helps. I don't recommend doing your art super small and then enlarging it, because you will have pixelation problems. You can change the snapping. So I show you here that when you move stuff around, you can see those lines popping up and how it kind of moves like a robot. That's what snapping and magnetics are. The snapping puts the lines, and the magnetics makes it move more like a robot. So this is the freeform option. So it will move it in any which way. The yellow twisty moves the shape of kind of like the reference points. So if you wanted to shift how you're changing your text, you could do that. Distort it pivots the axis, so it's like the top shifting away from you. In this case, the C was coming closer to us. Just this one's more, if you play with it, it will make more sense to you. I'm not super great at explaining it, so I apologize for that. The next one we've got is warp. And warp, you've got let's see, like 16 points of reference to change all the different places. So you could make it look like a fisheye, like I did here. This is great for teeny tiny warp. So if you just need to make a couple of small adjustments, like make it fit into a box a little bit cleaner. This is a dramatic showing of what warp can do, but you can also use it in really small ways that make it look really subtle, and it looks like you haven't changed anything at all, but it looks more pleasing to the eye. That is the cursor tool. And that is our video for today. Thanks for watching and subscribing and liking, and ask questions in the comments if you have any.